water at home, in industries, in agriculture, and for recreation. Precipitation is the source of all forms of water we come across, and in Africa, precipitation means rainfall. Presently, just about half of Kenya's population has access to an adequate amount of safe water. Although still underutilized, rainwater is the most common and accessible source of water in Kenya. Two-thirds of Kenya is arid or semi-arid, and therefore resources like water, firewood, and fodder are scarce. While men move to towns in search of jobs, the women in the rural areas are struggling hard with the responsibilities of growing food, fetching water and firewood, and providing animal fodder. The water they collect is often not enough and of poor quality. Traditionally, governments have addressed this problem by creating huge public pipe-based and expensive water projects like this one in the Ngong area of Kenya. Often, these projects are not properly managed, the installations are inadequately operated and poorly maintained, and finally, they collapse due to financial problems. The Kibiku Water Project was built in 1963 with funding from a donor. It has been functioning, but with a lot of problems.
This project started in 1983, but it has had very many problems, with pipes bursting most of the time, as the pipes which transport the water are plastic. Again, the pump for pumping the water keeps breaking down. Sometimes we go without water for as long as 1 year without getting water from the pipes. These are the problems we have been having with water.
It is for this reason that Kenya Rainwater Association decided to assist in the implementation of programs on rainwater harvesting, especially in the rural areas. Since women are already organized in groups, they are the most suitable target in the communities to work with. These women operate a savings scheme with every member of the group contributing a fixed amount of money every month. On a rotating basis, every woman gets a chance of taking the whole sum to buy expensive equipment, for example, blankets, cupboards, and other household utensils. Our group is known as Mwahangi Women Group. It was formed in 1992. Our main objective then was to contribute some money and assist the group members to purchase kitchen utensils like cups. In 1993, we started our water harvesting activities. First, we started by constructing underground water tanks. We did this because when it rained, the water was collected in a dam, and we used the same water for our domestic needs. This water that we are now collecting from our tanks is clean and safe compared to the water from the dam, which we used to share with livestock and wild animals. Indeed, we are now grateful to have clean water, free from waterborne diseases.
Initially, the groups could walk for several kilometers to get water from the only sources which were there, a few dams and 1 or 2 boreholes. And so they decided this water which has been coming to our places, it rains and the water goes all several kilometers to the dam. They decided let's get this water near our source or near our homes. And that's why you find that we have tried several technologies in different manners. You find that we have got ferrocement tanks, we have got masonry tanks, we have got water jars. We went as far as even having corrugated iron sheets tanks, depending on the area and of the community and their capability. The women are very much willing to get their water problem solved. They are contributing the little they have. And they are even going to the extent of doing it themselves so that they can reduce the cost of the tank.
The idea of building rainwater tanks was introduced to these merry-go-round groups. They agreed to collect money for that purpose, and they engaged technicians to teach them and assist them with the construction of tanks. Today, more than 300 women's groups in Kenya's Laikipia district are actively involved in rainwater harvesting. Which type of tank is chosen to be constructed depends on many factors, like the availability of materials and finances. In Laikipia, there are plenty of rubble stones, while sand has to be transported from far away. Therefore, the building of rubble stone tanks was promoted in that area. Another alternative is ferrocement, that is steel and forced concrete. Ferrocement tanks are more popular amongst our colleagues of the Catholic Diocese of Nakuru. The rainwater harvesting projects in Laikipia have been so successful that people from neighboring countries have got interested. Therefore, Kenya Rainwater Association and FAKT, the Association of Appropriate Technologies from Germany, have organized an exchange program for a delegation of Ugandan women's groups. In February 1996, the women not only visited a number of tank sites, but they actually joined their Kenyan sisters in building the tanks, and thus learned how to do it themselves.
Foundation is 3.5 feet. Continue.
Community participation is best realized when the whole group comes together and discusses the rules and regulations which are to govern their joint activities. This ensures that integrity, hard work, honesty and discipline are maintained in the group. Rainwater harvesting can be done by using a cooking pot or a 200-liter oil drum. A simple structure like this makeshift provides a solution for people who live in grass-thatched houses. Water jars and cylindrical tanks are other types which are used to collect water from corrugated iron roofs. There are also underground tanks which catch the water from the ground. Larger farms or institutions may use a system involving several different catchments and tanks. One of the main constraints to rainwater harvesting is cost of building the storage facilities. Generally, it is materials and labor that are the major cost elements. Choice of technology and design is important because these issues do influence what materials and labor will be needed to put up the required storage facilities. Ferrocement tank is a technology that uses sand, cement and iron as reinforcement. It should be noted that what is now called ferrocement tank is a cylindrical shaped standing tank on the surface. The visiting Ugandan women constructed tanks with their Kenyan sisters. During the visit, a technician provided information on different approaches on the utilization of rainwater.
So we find it cheaper to buy those ones instead of going to buy these other big ones, because you can buy them in small beds. But this big one, you can't buy it in small beds. You've got to buy the whole lot.
Water jars are another tank alternative. Their shape is achieved by a specially tailored piece of cloth which is filled by materials such as sawdust. Although most men are working far away in urban centers, they provide money to buy materials, while those men remaining in the village join women's groups to provide labor. Big underground tanks are popular amongst the women because they are not expensive and collect a lot of water that otherwise would wash away the fertile soil from the fields and cause erosion. A simple grass thatch roof prevents evaporation of the water, pollution and accidents. To lift the water from these tanks, a simple device like a rower pump may be installed. The water from underground tanks is mainly for livestock and kitchen gardens. Following the construction of water tanks, Women's groups are also engaged in other activities that address basic human needs: growing, tree planting, hygiene and primary health, fighting ignorance, and improving housing standards. By selling vegetables, cow milk, poultry, and tree seedlings, or by operating small shops, they can generate an extra income. In our case, rainwater is an entry point for social and economic growth. A pressing need such as the availability of water has mobilized people to organize in groups. Once the water problem is solved, the women have gained confidence and the groups are motivated to tackle other village problems. This way, a village learns the benefits of developing a more just society living in harmony with their environment. In as far as the spread of rainwater harvesting is concerned, the transfer of the know-how is a greater constraint than the availability of technology. Therefore, search for practical and innovative approaches is going on today amongst government and NGO extension services. Kenya Rainwater Association promotes an approach nicknamed GATE, Gaining Awareness Through Exposure. This approach involves what is called training by visit, where the target community themselves visit other communities with successful results to share their experiences. We came to visit here in Kenya to see women in Kenya who construct rainwater tanks. We arrived here well. They received us well. They gave us food. We ate and drank happily together. They showed us how they construct the water tanks. Then we began to assist them as they taught us also. Now we too know how to construct the tanks.
In our country, we have got a problem of water. So we came here, see the means on how we can solve our problem. We have liked the way you are cooperating, solve the water problem. In all the groups we have visited, we have liked the way you are working, support your families. We promise that when we go back to our homeland, we shall try all means to put what we have seen into practice.
I'm Dovina Tindimwebwa from Uganda. My question is, why did you start your group and what are your objectives?
We used to fetch water from the dam away from home about 10 kilometers on our backs. It was due to this, amongst many factors, that we thought of forming a group to assist each other to collect rainwater at our home rather than let the water flow all the way to the dam and follow it there. So in 1993, we formed this group to look for ways and means of solving our water problems.
We have several tanks now that have been put in the homesteads. But as I was saying, having to contribute to put one tank, it takes a group maybe 6 or 7 months to have just one tank constructed. So you find that it's only 2 or 3 tanks which are constructed in a year. In a group of 30 people, if you are to calculate without the external support agency, a group will take 10 years, which is quite a long time. But we are very grateful to the donor countries who have assisted these women in trying to solve their water problem.
Community-based groups working with NGOs in Laikipia have made remarkable achievements in rainwater harvesting. Although these projects are organized and managed communally, benefits are direct and immediate. This approach sustains a high level of community support.
In Kenya, more than 50% of our population have no access to safe and adequate water. And that is why Kenya Rainwater Association was formed by a group of individuals and registered by Kenya government back in 1994. Their main objective is to harmonize and promote use of this wonderful resource. Kenya Rainwater Association also collaborates with other external support agencies in pursuing its objectives, both local and international, government and non-government organizations. The association also promotes exchange of experiences, whereby groups from one place are called, assisted to come and learn from what others have done. Previously, we had Bread for the World funding women groups from Uganda who toured Kenyan women groups to see how they do their rainwater harvesting.
The reason Kenya Rainwater Association used women as a target group is that in the rural areas, most men are away looking for jobs, while women are left with a heavy burden of looking for water, firewood, food and fodder for animals. So when water is made available at home by constructing a roof catchment, the impact is so great because time and energy saved is put back into income-generating activities. And as a result, the living standard of the household is improved.
siao leira gusiaega
Anya na maremera
Renyanje irene kwa ura
Abashisha Bamba umenyanji
Renyanje irene kwa